I want love again at 80. Is that so wrong? When people talk about love, they usually imagine the young, the rush of teenage crushes, first dates, weddings, honeymoons. But what happens when your hair turns gray, your children grow up, your house quiets down, and you find yourself sitting alone with a teacup in silence? Does love stop knocking on your door? My name is Dorothy. I'm 80 years old. I've been a widow for 15 years. I have 2 children, 4 grandchildren, and a home filled with old photo albums, porcelain teacups, and the scent of lavender from my backyard. I love my husband Robert dearly. We were married for 42 years. He was my first love, my partner in everything. When he passed away from cancer, I honestly believed that part of me had died too. I didn't think I would ever laugh like that again, or feel that kind of joy again. For years I filled my days with habit. I kept the same morning routine. Black tea at 7, classical music by 9. I wrote letters to friends, I volunteered at the library. I smiled politely at neighbors. I told my daughter every time she called that I was just fine. But I wasn't. I was lonely. Not just the kind of lonely where the house feels too big, but the kind of lonely where the days feel meaningless. Where you wonder, is this it now? Am I just waiting for the end? That's when everything changed. Because of calligraphy. Yes, calligraphy. My daughter signed me up for a class at the local community center. She said I needed to get out of the house more. I didn't expect anything. Maybe I'd meet a few other quiet ladies, learn to write fancy letters. But then, I met Harold. He sat at the far end of the room, a little hunched over, wearing a red scarf, and eyes that sparkled like he had just remembered a very good joke. He was 78, a retired art teacher. We started chatting, about pens, about poetry, about his ridiculous collection of vintage hats. Over the next few weeks, something strange started happening. My heart would flutter a little when I saw him. I'd wear a bit of perfume to class. He'd bring me tea, and ask how my roses were doing. Slowly we began walking together after class. Nothing grand. Just talking, laughing, and walking. And one day, over coffee, Harold reached across the table and gently touched my hand. I looked at him startled. Then he said, "I know what you're thinking. But I just want to say, I feel something. I think you might too." I didn't answer right away, because I didn't know what to say. I hadn't felt anything like that in so long. It scared me. Later that evening, I called my daughter. I told her I had met someone. Her response was silence. And then, "Are you serious? At your age?" She wasn't being cruel. She was just shocked. Maybe even uncomfortable. But it stung. The next day, I called my son. He was worse. He said, "You don't know who this man is. What if he wants something from you? Don't be naive, Mom." That word, naive, it echoed in my head for days. I started doubting everything. I wondered if I was embarrassing my family. If I was betraying Robert's memory. If I was being foolish for wanting affection again. Then one evening I told Harold, "Maybe we should stop. My children aren't okay with this. Maybe they're right." He looked at me with the gentlest eyes and said, "Dorothy, I don't love you for them. I love you for you. And if they can't see that you deserve to be loved again, that's their blindness, not yours." That night, I lay in bed and thought about my life. I had done everything I was supposed to. I had loved deeply, cared for a family, nursed a husband through illness, lived honorably. But now this part of my life was mine. Mine to write. Mine to feel. Mine to love. So I made a choice. I chose to keep walking with Harold. We didn't move in together. We didn't get married. But we see each other almost every day. We drink tea in the garden. We share books. He paints. I write. Sometimes we dance in the living room to old jazz. We're not teenagers. We don't need promises. But what we have, it's real. It's comforting. It's warm. People still judge. Some neighbors whisper. My son is still distant. But I've stopped apologizing. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Love is not something you age out of. The heart doesn't retire. It doesn't look at a calendar and say, "Well, she's 80 now. Time to stop beating faster." And I am not ashamed to say, I want love. At 80, and maybe at 92. To anyone listening who feels that desire stir inside them, who wonders, am I too old to be loved again? I say to you, no, you are not too old. You are still here. You are still capable of joy, of longing, of connection. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Not even your own doubts. This is my story, and it's not over yet. Thank you for listening to this episode of Autumn Stories of Life. If you've ever felt like love was out of reach because of your age, I hope this reminded you. Your heart still matters. You still matter. Share this story with someone who might need to hear it. And remember, love is timeless.